I call the regular meeting of the Lakewood City Council of May 13th, 2013 to order. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Wilson.
Here.
Murphy. Wickman.
Here.
Quinn.
Here.
King. Coop.
Here.
Kellen.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Paul. Here. Barraway. Roybal.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thanks. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone in the audience, if you have your cell phone, to please put it on silence for the remainder of the meeting. And next up is please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, and afterwards we'll have a moment of silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, before public comment, we have a couple of proclamations, but before we launch into that, I see we have a scout in the audience. We usually like to invite our scouts to introduce themselves, tell us what troop they're from and what school they attend. So, would you please stand up? And which school? All right, well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. You're lucky it's going to be a short meeting. All right, so before public comment, we have a couple of proclamations, so I'll be going down. The first one is Older Americans Month. So, Edie, if you can meet me down there. Councillor Kellen, could you please read our proclamation? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Councillor Coop. All right, I'm new. All right, give me a break now. Councillor Coop, could you please read the proclamation?
Thank you. Proclamation, Older Americans Month. Whereas the theme for 2013's Older Americans Month is Unleash the Power of Age. And whereas the City of Lakewood is a community that includes 27,207 residents aged 60 and better, which is 19% of the City of Lakewood's total population. And whereas older adults are active community members involved in volunteering, mentorship, arts and culture, and civic engagement, and recognizing their successes encourages their ongoing participation and further accomplishments. And whereas the City of Lakewood provides opportunities to allow older adults to continue to flourish by emphasizing their importance and leadership, by publicly recognizing their continued achievements, presenting opportunities for older residents to share their wisdom, experience, and skills, and recognizing older adults as a valuable asset in strengthening American communities. Now, therefore, on behalf of the City Council and the people of the City of Lakewood, Colorado, I, Bob Murphy, Mayor of the City of Lakewood, Colorado, by virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim May 2013 as Older Americans Month in the City of Lakewood. I urge every resident to take time this month to honor our older adults and the professionals, family members, and volunteers who care for many of them. Our recognition of older Americans and their involvement in our lives can help us achieve stronger and more meaningful connections with each other and enrich our community's quality of life. Given under my hand and seal of the City of Lakewood this 13th day of May 2013 AD, Bob Murphy, Mayor.
So Bob couldn't be here this evening, so I'm stepping in. We have Edie Ritchie with us here today to accept the proclamation. We're very lucky to have so many active older adults here in our community, and happy to have this proclamation for Older Adults Month. Would you like to say a few words?
Please. Thank you all and good evening. For over 50 years throughout the United States, May has been recognized as Older Americans Month. Lakewood continues its proud tradition by recognizing Older Americans Month and this year's theme, Unleash the Power of Age, celebrating the contributions and achievements of its older adult residents. Throughout the year, Lakewood acknowledges the significant and positive impact older adults have in our community as valuable, productive, active, and influential residents. Because of our large senior population, the Denver Regional Council of Governments, DRCOG, recognizes Lakewood as one of the oldest demographic cities in their 8-county region. When I attend county and regional meetings, it's really a proud experience for me to hear from other people outside Lakewood what a role model we are for our commitment to older adults. Lakewood strives to meet challenges of its aging population by providing wide variety of services, programs, and activities that support healthy, active, and enjoyable lifestyles. Our city offers innovative resources such as wellness, fitness, computer classes, art classes, social and recreational activities, transportation and volunteer opportunities, and facilities like the Clements Community Center. So I just happen to have our quarterly publication. This is free. It's called Live the Life, and it tells anyone who picks it up what we do, what our activities and programs are. And anyone who's interested can stop by the Clements Center at 1580 Yarrow Street or call our front desk at 303-987-4820. And in closing, I would like to thank you all for valuing older adults in our Lakewood community. Thank you.
I'd also like to mention that Edie Ritchie has been with the city over 20 years, and she will be retiring next week. So I just want to take a moment to thank her for her leadership and that we really appreciate you spending 20 years with us, and wish you the best on your retirement. You deserve it.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to work for the organization. It's a great one. Thank you.
Okay, the next item is the Peace Officers Memorial Day and National Police Week proclamation. If I could have Division Chief Jim Coleman please join me. And Councilor Kellen, this time I got it right, is going to read the proclamation.
You ran out of choices there. All right. Recognizing May 15 as Peace Officers Memorial Day and May 12th to 18th as National Police Week. Whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which May 15 falls as National Police Week. And whereas the members of the Lakewood Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the residents of Lakewood. And whereas it is important that all residents know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their police department employees. And whereas we recall that on November 9, 2012, Agent James Davies became the first member of the Lakewood Police Department to be killed in the line of duty. And whereas Agent Davies' service and ultimate sacrifice has been forever remembered and engraved on the National and State Peace Officers Memorial. And whereas the men and women of the Lakewood Police Department unceasingly provide a vital public service to our residents. Now, therefore, on behalf of the City Council and the people of the City of Lakewood, Colorado, I, Bob Murphy, Mayor of the City of Lakewood, Colorado, by virtue of the authority vested in me, do hereby recognize May 15 as Peace Officers Memorial Day and May 12th through 18th as National Police Week in the City of Lakewood to honor those law enforcement officers who, through their courageous deeds, have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to their community or have become disabled in the performance of duty. And let us recognize and pay respect to the survivors of our fallen heroes, given under my hand and seal of the City of Lakewood this 13th day of May, 2013. Bob Murphy, Mayor.
If you please say a few words for us.
Thank you, Councilor Kellen. Council, I'm here tonight for Chief Pauletta, who is back in Washington, D.C. for the National Peace Officers Week and Memorial Day. He's accompanied the James Davies family back there and was fortunate enough to have several members of our honor guard and a couple other people from the department also attend. I've heard from him today, and he said that the welcome has just been overwhelming back there, and the support. And on behalf of, about 400 employees, sworn and civilian, men and women, of the Lakewood Police Department. I want to thank you very much for your continuing support and recognition. It's always very meaningful to us to know that we do have that support. It's even more meaningful perhaps this year as a result of the events that occurred in November of 2012. So once again, thank you, and you can be assured of our continued best efforts in behalf of the City of Lakewood. Thanks very much.
All right. Next up is public comment. This is a point in the meeting where the public is invited to address the City Council. What? Sorry.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
ahead.
We have one more resolution of appointment.
Gerald Schulte.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm playing the part of the mayor today, for those of you who don't know. Let's see. Can you please read Resolution 2013-27 into the record?
Item 6, Resolution 2013-27, reappointing Gerald Schulte to the Metro Wastewater Reclamation District Board of Directors.
Okay, I don't think Mr. Schulte could be with us today. Can I have do we make a motion first, right? Make a motion?
All right. I move that we reappoint Gerald Schulte to the Metro Wastewater Reclamation District Board of Directors.
Second the motion.
Okay, does anybody have any comment? All right. Please, wait. Okay, please cast your votes. I signed myself up to speak. I didn't really mean to do that. I don't know how to clear it. All right. The vote is 9-0. Motion passes. All right, now on to public comment. This is the point in the meeting where the public is invited to address the City Council on items that did not appear on the agenda. All comments should be directed to the City Council. I ask that all in attendance observe the decorum of the City Council chambers and refrain from applause or audible support or discord with the speaker. There's a 3-minute time limit per speaker. The indicator lights on the lectern will glow yellow after 2.5 minutes and red when your 3-minute limit is up. Newt Vaughn's the only one signed up so far, so Newt, please join us.
My name is Newt Vaughn, and I live in Ward 5 in Lakewood. Our state legislature and our federal government is going to press this issue to the point where I'm not sure we'll be able to protect ourselves anymore. There are no firearms in this house, and all crooks are welcome. We are fortunate to live in a city where police response is relatively short. But I had an occasion to meet a police officer in Montana that covers 82 miles of length of one highway. If he's on one end of the county and help is needed on the other, if he could average 100 miles an hour, he's 2 hours away. Now, folks, the reason he's 2 hours away is because he can't take the curves at 100 miles an hour, the cities at 100 miles an hour, or cross federal highways at 100 miles an hour. So what are we doing? Do you know that one of the firearms that was used in the Second World War, the M1 carbine, the design was made while the guy was in prison, serving time while bootlegging? He was contracted by Winchester after Browning died in 1939. And the M1 carbine became the tool that our military used in the Second World War, Korea, and Vietnam. The ingenuity of the American people, or any people on the face of the earth, will design and build a firearm whether you can outlaw them all or not. So I cannot figure out why we keep passing laws that restrain the ability of law-abiding citizens to defend themselves as well as their families. Or go hunting. Do you realize our state legislature made your dad's .22 rifle illegal to sell? If it has a tubular magazine, it holds more than 15 shots. So folks, what is our legislature doing to us? Is it a time for us to wake up and find out? They're taking your freedoms away slowly but surely. I think it's about ultimate control and not about firearms or health care or anything else. It's all about the control that they're taking away from you. The decision is to make your own decision. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr. Vaughn. At this point, there's nobody else on the public comment roster. Is there anyone who didn't sign the public comment roster who wishes to address the City Council? And I'm sorry. Okay. If so, just a reminder to state your name and address for the record, and remember there's a 3-minute time limit, all of which you know, but you know I have a script, so I follow it.
Thank you. Natalie Menton, Ward 5, and here speaking on behalf of, as my position as RTD Director for District 10, which represents Lakewood, Wheat Ridge, and Golden. I want to talk about the West Corridor. Now that we have the West Line ushered in and all the parties are over and the VIP receptions, we're faced with the reality of the people who are really going to use that system. We have the people who are casual users. They may go to a Rockies game, but we also have the people who are using it daily to get to their jobs. Many of them who work downtown, but some of them are using it on a local level. I know here on this city council, there's, I believe, one councilor who's using it for the most part daily, going to work. The spouse of one of the city councilors using it daily. There may be some others here that I don't know of, and apologize if I'm not including you in that. But again, we are we've got the system in place. The system has some nice features, but it has a lot of flaws too. Some of the flaws are increased transfers. One of the ones that most people are a little bit surprised with is the AF line, and now I've kind of gotten into the jargon, so I've got to remember to explain what that means. The AF line is the Sky Ride. That's the one that goes to the airport. For many years, people have been used to getting on at the Federal Center, and after various stops, they got out to the DIA, which they loved that a lot. They didn't have a lot of problems with the amount of luggage that they would take, especially people who may be older in age, didn't have concerns with having to unload and then load back up their luggage, having to cart it around. What we've found now with that we have the West Line in place is that we have increased transfers. The AF line or the airport Skyride line is a prime example. Forever now we're going to have a transfer whenever you're going to the airport. So you're going to be going to Union Station. Now some people are light travelers or light carriers, whatever, and it won't be too bad of a problem for them, but it's going to take a lot of getting used to for those who may be physically challenged in one way or another. Especially as Union Station's not complete yet, that challenge is even greater. There have been some other things. While the decision by the voters to approve fast tracks, it also meant, besides this train running down a fixed track, it meant that every express route generating out of Lakewood was eliminated. That has really put a hardship on a lot of people who work downtown. I can't tell you how many emails and phone calls I'm getting every day, and I know some of you have been CC'd on these same concerns and messages. But it's really a full-time job, and I wanted to be on RTD, so I accept that. But we're going to have to fix some of these things. As for some of the increased, the problems is increased commute time. And I'm going to give you an example after I explain this a little bit, and this is the most common thing I hear of every day, is that in the past my route, getting to work downtown was 45 minutes. And I paid more than it would have taken me to drive my car, and it was a matter of convenience, and I was okay with all that and being with other people when I could have been in the privacy of my car. But when it takes now 20 minutes to 30 minutes, additional commute time, not just total commute time, additional commute time for these people one way to get down there, even if they're using the bus or the light rail, because the system doesn't, when it's a fixed track, it doesn't fit everybody. If you live right next to it and you work right next to where you end up, that's one thing. Am I already getting close?
Yeah, you're already done, but I'll let you wrap up your comment.
If I could, please. I think it's very important. So what I will be doing is I am hosting a meeting, and I would have put this up on the projector, but I was told it needed to be approved beforehand. I'm hosting a meeting this Wednesday, May 15th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at Clements Resource Center. It'll be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I have over 100 writers already on my email list, and I hope everybody else in Lakewood that's concerned about the light rail system and changes will attend. I'll also be giving them further dates for the RTD board, where especially these decisions are now coming forward about changes to fix the problems that we have.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, anybody else wishing to make a public comment? Okay, public comment is closed. I'm sorry, yes, go ahead, Councilor Cullen.
I just wanted to at least give you one good experience from being a regular rider on the light rail. For me, being a little closer in, I'm finding I haven't quite got to the point of riding my bicycle or walking to the station, but I'm 5 minutes drive to the Wadsworth station, and I have on a morning been picked up by a train at 8:30 and been in my office at my desk before 9. So it's very efficient for me. It's working very well, and I appreciate that. And I know some people's situations are different, but at least for some of us, it's working right now. So, but thank you for hosting the meeting.
Okay, next up is consent agenda. The use of the consent agenda has been made to expedite council action. It contains both resolutions and first reading ordinances. Resolutions are the items of a routine nature. Members of the public will have an opportunity in a moment to comment on any of the proposed resolutions. First reading ordinances appear on the agenda only for the purpose of setting future public hearing dates and ordering the newspaper publication of the proposed ordinance. No public comments will be heard this evening on first reading ordinances. The public will have the opportunity to comment on the proposed ordinances during the scheduled public hearings on the dates set tonight by City Council. Any council member may request an item on the consent agenda be removed for separate discussion and action under general business. Will the city clerk read the items on the consent agenda into the record?
The consent agenda consists of items 8 through 17 inclusive. Item 8, Resolution 2013-29, authorizing an intergovernmental agreement for installation of a bidirectional amplifier system into Alameda High School. Item 9, Ordinance 2013-10, amending Sections 2.20.050F of the Lakewood Municipal Code pertaining to compensation of the municipal judges. Item 10, Ordinance 2013-11, amending Section 5.20.010 of the Lakewood Municipal Code relating to fireworks and further declaring an emergency. Item 11, Ordinance 2013-12, revising Section 9.32.110 of the Lakewood Municipal Code relating to the prohibition of open fires. Item 12, Ordinance 2013-13, adopting a new Chapter 9.39 of the Lakewood Municipal Code, authorizing the declaration of fire restrictions and fire bans by the city manager or designee and further declaring an emergency. Item 13, Ordinance 2013-14, amending municipal ward boundaries for the City of Lakewood, Colorado. Item 14, Ordinance 2013-15, to rezone land located at 8201 West Jewell Avenue, City of Lakewood, County of Jefferson, State of Colorado. Item 15, Ordinance 2013-16, amending Sections 9.06.010, 9.10.020, 9.50.080, 9.50.090, 9.64.030, and 9.70.010, and adding Section 9.30.040 of Title IX of the Lakewood Municipal Code pertaining to public peace and safety, and adding Section 10.60.250 of Title 10 of the Lakewood Municipal Code pertaining to vehicles and traffic. Item 16, accepting the minutes of the Lakewood Planning Commission meeting of April 3rd, 2013. And item 17, approving the minutes of the regular City Council meeting of April 22nd, 2013.
Okay. At this time, I'll open the public comment period on the proposed resolution. We only have one that was contained in the consent agenda. At the conclusion of public comment, flipping the page here, a vote will be taken on the entire consent agenda with the exception of any items removed by council for separate vote. We don't have anyone on the sign-in sheet to talk about that resolution. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make a comment? Okay. So I'm going to just go ahead and ask for a motion then.
Sure. I move for the approval of the council minutes for acceptance of the minutes of boards and commissions, order all ordinances introduced on first reading to be published in the Denver Post, with public hearing set for the date included in the ordinance, and for adoption of resolutions, all of which are included in the consent agenda items introduced into the record by the city clerk.
Second the motion.
I forgot to close the public hearing before then. Oh, that's not a big deal. All right. Councilors, does anybody have any comments about the consent agenda? Don't all jump up at once. I can't, Okay. All right. We can vote on the consent agenda. And the vote is 9-0. All right. I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Am I just... Okay, I'm going. Let's see. Oh, is there any general business?
None.
Okay. Executive report. Kathy, do you have something you'd like to tell us?
I do, thank you. In the near future, you will be hearing some really positive announcements coming out of the Colorado Mills Mall. And today I get to make the first one. And that is this fall, we have a new retailer, and it's H&M Clothing is coming to Colorado Mills and will be opening this fall. That's great news for us. And this is a cliffhanger. There's more to come in terms of announcements in the future, and I'll let you know when those are ready to be released. Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's time for our reports. I have no report, although I will say I was just getting the hang of things, and now it's already over. All right. Who goes first? Scott? Karen goes? Karen, do you have anything to report?
No report.
Scott?
I want to thank everyone that came out Saturday morning to the Colfax cleanup and getting ready for the marathon coming up next Sunday. Great group of volunteers. It went by really quick. I have to give a special thanks to the person that organized that, Maddie Nichols, who has done that for so many years and does a great job. Thank you, Maddie, for taking care of that. On another note there, the deadline for the Historical Society essay contest is approaching this Wednesday. So finish up those essays, get them all turned in. More information at www.historiclakewood.org. Thank you.
Okay, Councilor Roybal.
No report.
No report.
Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I do have a few things I'd like to bring out. This Saturday is the Ward 1 meeting, and Farrell from our community development will be coming and talking about the wonderful recreation facilities that we have and the program that we have to provide for people. So please come and attend and find out what's going on. The second thing I'd like to say is about 3 weeks ago, I had the wonderful opportunity of attending the crime prevention program that our police department puts on. And I would like to publicly tell you all that this program is over the top awesome. We can be so proud of the police department that we have and the dedication they have. This crime prevention or crime-free housing, really, I'm saying it wrong, is actually designed for landlords or anybody that is renting property. And I just can't speak high enough for it. For those of you that are listening to this, I would encourage you to please call Michelle De Leon. She's one of our sector liaisons. Her number is 303-987-7383. And please get involved in this. The one thing that became very apparent to me is that our police department does not take ownership for the crime. It is something that is a partnership that they would like to have with all of the citizens, and it does make a difference. So thank you. And I am actually hopeful that maybe at some point that Lakewood can have something more formal in place where we strongly encourage the property management companies within Lakewood to notify the people that they are working with that this program is out there. Not to mandate that people have to take it, but at least so that they know that it's out there. And then the third thing I would like to bring up is that we've all been listening with heartbreak and horror of the situation that happened in Cleveland a week ago. About 2 months ago at the West Colfax Community Association, Mayor Bob Murphy was talking about how our city is now sponsoring Nextdoor.com. And Karen and I are both in it in our neighborhood. And I got to realizing after listening to the terrible situation out there that Nextdoor.com, we're all neighbors, we're all family. And it is a wonderful way to get to know your neighbors, where we can look out for each other, be friends with each other, be family to one another. And I would encourage people to get involved in Nextdoor.com. We need to make sure that this kind of situation never happens again, and we can help prevent it here in Lakewood. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilor Johnson. I'm not used to calling people by their last names. It's very hard. Councilor King, that's right, not Sue. Councilor King. Councilor Quinn.
Yes, we have our Ward 5 meeting coming up this Friday at our Savior's Church at Garrison and Jewel at 8:30 a.m. or 8:30 to 10. And our guest speaker this month is going to be State Senator Andy Kerr, and he'll be giving an overview of this past legislative session. Thank you.
All right, Councilor Wickman.
Well, two things. Number one, I'm really glad to hear about H&M coming. It's my daughter's favorite store, so they're probably ecstatic. The irony is, and I would like to do a shout out to my oldest daughter, Michelle, did receive her master's degree from Colorado School of Mines on Friday, and she's now going off to Houston to work, so she won't be able to take advantage of it, but she'll be very happy to know it's here when she comes back. On a serious note, in 30 days from now, the West Chamber is going to be having their annual Taste of the West, and that's going to be sponsored here in the city. It's going to be at the Heritage Center, and I think at this point they've got like over 22 restaurants, and so I hope everybody will plan on having some dinner that night. I believe it's a Thursday from like 5 to 7. So again, at the Heritage Center, the Taste of the West. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's all for this evening, except there is one thing that I wanted to mention. My Cub Scout group got a tour of the police department, so I just wanted to say thanks. They did a wonderful job. It actually was a civilian that gave us a tour, Betty Clark, but she did great on short notice, so our Cub Scouts had a great time. Just wanted to say thanks. All right, with that, this meeting's adjourned.